Well, Ben, I've been working this case for the past 24 hours now, and everyone I've come in contact with seems to be keeping a pretty tight lip regarding Mr. Levi Johnson. I even called a few law firms here in Great Falls just to find out the possible charges that he could face, and none of them were willing to talk.
Our Tarvarious Haywood is live at the Great Falls International Airport. How's it looking over there, Tarvarious?
Taylor, it's not that bad. As you know firsthand, our crews have covered every angle on the ground, but how is this all affecting air travel? Now, as you can imagine, this family is devastated. Now, even after losing everything, the family is still in good spirits and just thankful to be alive. Spoke with truck drivers in Great Falls to see what they're seeing out on the roads and how they're managing to get through these conditions. For now, reporting live in Great Falls, I'm Tarvarious Haywood for Montana Right Now. Live at Expo Park, where Margarita Meltdown is in full effect. Now check this out. If you take a look at the stage over there, the band Jimmy and the Parrots are just moments away from hitting the stage, and they have a full night of jamming out planned for you guys. Now if you follow me, Carly, over here, this is beach sand, guys, beach sand, to give you guys that beachy feeling once you guys walk in. And take a look at those women over there in those yellow shirts. Now I heard they make the best margaritas that you've ever had in your life. Now I spoke with the executive director of Eagle Mountain, and she says this is the perfect opportunity to get rid of some winter blues. And this setup here costs roughly $1,000, and that consists of a boat, paddle, and life jacket. And yes, it is a bit pricey, but that could mean the difference of you paying the ultimate price, and that's with your life. For now, reporting in Great Falls, Tarvarious Haywood. Yes, it is a bit windy out here, but that does not stop any search efforts whatsoever. As long as he's out here, they will continue to search. Taylor, I'm right outside the Flying J off of I-15, where depending on the driver you talk to, they say that driving conditions aren't that bad, but others say this is some of the worst driving conditions they've seen in years.
Our Tarvarious Haywood has spent the last 2 days on the Blackfeet Reservation. Tarvarious, you spoke with one woman who had to tear down a piece of her property just to heat her home, right?
Unfortunately, that's quite common up here, and as you mentioned, I've been up here for the past 2 days now, and people have been so generous to invite me into their homes just to show me how they're surviving. And sadly, Jackie Sharp's story is just one of many just trying to survive this winter season.
This is the worst it's been in years. Like I said, I've lived here in this house for like 25 years.
Jackie Sharp has lived in Browning, Montana all of her life. Over 40 years to be exact. And while I was riding through the city, she stopped me to show me how her vehicles have been trapped in their yard for quite some time.
I've got to call somebody to come and get me, somebody that I know has four-wheel drive, to come and get me and take me to the store.
To only find that supplies are gone.
The shelves get emptied pretty quick, and then the prices are like outrageous too, so that limits you.
She added if you didn't stack up on firewood in the spring, you could be in for a long winter. She says, don't make the same mistake she made.
I was just out picking scrap wood out of the yard to keep warm.
She now has firewood at her home and says even though conditions are bad, the community always sticks together.
People around here, they do kind of pull together and help each other.
She added to live on the High Line, you really have to be Montana strong.
It's a tough place to live, but when you grow up here, you're used to it.
Yeah, Jackie did mention grocery stores, and as soon as I was done talking with her, I headed to the local grocery store just to find out what store workers had to say about empty shelves, and also continue our conversation about what life is like up here in north central Montana. For now, reporting live in Browning, I'm Tarvarious Haywood for Montana Right Now.
The initial shock is not a fun one to go through, but that within a few minutes turned into they're both safe, the dog is safe.
Those were the words of the son of Sandy and Robert Samsell this morning when he learned his childhood home was gone. Sandy woke up to what sounded like popping noises. She looked outside of her window and saw flames shooting up and screamed to her husband that there was a fire at the home. That's when the couple jumped out of bed and ran to the door. Luckily, someone was already there to help them get out of the home. And once outside, Robert realized that the family dog was still inside the burning house. Risking his own life, Robert went back in for the dog. Now I spoke with Robert, who didn't want to go on camera, but says they lost everything, from old family pictures and even Christmas gifts. But as long as he has his family, everything can be replaced. Their son, Robert Sansell III, who lives in Seattle, says even though he is hundreds of miles away from home, it's great knowing that the community of Great Falls is helping his parents in their time of need.
My mom has been the one that supports everybody. I see it sort of as her turn to be supportee. It also is an amazing experience to see people come together and help each other.
Now, while the family is picking up the pieces of what's left of this fire, a fundraiser has been set up for the family that has already generated about $3,000. And you can go to kfbb.com for that link. For now, reporting in Great Falls, I'm Tarvarious Haywood, Montana, right now.
For the next few days, we will be covering this rodeo from all points, but today we spoke with the man behind the mic, calling the shots, the announcer. Our Tarvarious Haywood has the story.
That man right there, Mr. Will Ramison, has been announcing now for over 20 years, and he says this is only the beginning of a long career ahead of him.
Is a three-time Montana Circuit champion.
I didn't have any real aspirations of being an announcer.
That's when he was a college kid chasing other dreams. He says back in the 1980s was when this all started. He announced his first rodeo, and the rest is history.
20-some years later, still at it. It's my full-time profession, and I couldn't be happier.
He says since he's been a professional announcer, the road has had its ups and downs, but hearing the fans roar reminds him of why he loves his job.
When you can get 4, 5, 7, 10,000 people to respond to something that's going on in the arena and know that you've helped that along, that's a great reward.
But he says coming home to Montana always adds an extra level of pressure.
I love it, but you just want to do so good, you know? I'm home, there's educated fans here. This is a great event, and I want to be up to the task of delivering a good product.
He says there are some downfalls to living your dreams.
You don't get to watch your grandson go play t-ball in June, you know? You don't get to help your family.
But he says family always understands.
The same people whose events you miss, they're your biggest fans, and they get it.
He says he is truly thankful for the opportunity to travel and see the country and couldn't imagine doing anything else. Well, there is one thing.
I don't know, probably still trying to play my guitar or something.
Reporting in Great Falls, I'm Tarvarious Haywood for Montana right now. Millions of women from all over the country, including right here in Great Falls, took to the streets, all for one cause, and that's women's rights. Over 300 women gathered at Gibson Park in what is called the March for Democracy, and those cheers represent the rise of diversity, equal rights, and justice for all.
We just feel that we have been left out, the people have been left out, and we want to rise.
And for one woman, this is her second march she's ever attended and says she marches on behalf of women who can't.
I'm here to be an advocate for people who can't speak for themselves. I consider myself an empowered woman. I was able to use education to break into a different socioeconomic class, but I still face barriers in my workplace.
And she says it's time for a change.
I personally have witnessed and seen abuse and mistreatment and unequal treatment and lack of opportunities for women that I feel need to change in our society.
She added not only is she marching for those without a voice, she's also marching for our future leaders of tomorrow.
We're still here addressing the same problems that our parents and grandparents were wanting to address for us to give us a better future, and so I'm here continuing the same work.
Jennings says ultimately these marches are a representation of everybody, and it's time for everyone to rise and stand tall together.
We want to see our government work for all of us. It's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and we need to see that happening.
Reporting in Great Falls, I'm Tarvarious Haywood for Montana right now.